Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Orlando Gonzalez, and I live in Lodi, New Jersey,
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
53.
Well, you don't have to give your address.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know you
Okay.
live in Bergen County.
Okay.
Okay. And how does the LGBT community relate to you?
It's everything. It's everything since I came out 27 years ago.
Okay. And you came out as
Huh?
you
I'm
came out as what?
I'm gay male.
Okay.
That's when I met my boyfriend, so my ex anyway.
Okay.
So when I came out of the closet, I literally broke the door. So my friends say, you know,
Damn.
until you meet that one person that makes you like really like forget, like, oh, forget about all what I'm trying to hide. I
Mhm.
was like, literally, I just like, all right, I'm in love, so I just came out,
Awesome.
forget about what everybody thinks. So that's how it came. It happened to me anyway. Yeah.
Awesome. So the reason we're here and the question I'm going to ask you is what are your thoughts on the fact that we don't have a LGBT center? And do you think it's needed? And what would be those needs for you? And when I say an LGBT center, it could be in any format. It could be a virtual, it could be a book, or it can be like a community center, whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't seem to have one in Bergen County. So what are your thoughts?
Oh, definitely, we need a center because I think we are very isolated in Lodi. I mean, in Bergen County, we don't. We kind of have to. Well, I mean, now because of the pandemic, but before, I know my experience was I always had to go to New York and kind of be part of the New York scene, that more so than ever feeling there's nothing here.
Yeah.
If you're
So,
gay, there's really nothing. There's nothing, nothing to help you, kind of. You know what I mean? Even if you want to like come, especially people who don't come out like I did, which was meet somebody in the city that lived in the city. Like people who are like more introverted and kind of would like to kind of meet somebody, but doesn't have to live in New York City, they or don't have the means to always go into the city. And you don't always want to be going to the city anyway.
yeah. And could you be elaborate a little bit more when saying you have to go to the city for, are you talking about socializing? Are you talking about
Yeah,
getting healthcare?
socializing, everything. I mean, I think I I always I think I guess when I started kind of having to once you kind of like I guess I was like 20, between 20 and like 24 and stuff like that. It's like if I wanted to be around gay people, I had to travel to the city. You know what I mean? Because that's all I knew. It's like, I would go in with my family and I would see like Times Square and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, let me remember this route so I can remember how to drive into the city and know where to go. And then I went by an HX. I don't know if you remember about that, the magazines,
Oh yeah,
Next and
HX
the
magazine.
HX and stuff like that. So one time I came across one of the magazines. So this was after I definitely knew that I was gay. And I would look in the back, and in the back there were like all the clubs and the bars. And then I would like every weekend like pick a place to go to by myself, which was kind of lonely, you
Yeah.
know and that's how I did it. I had to literally just go ahead and use the HX and the Next magazine and pick a different place every weekend to go to. Like I went to Limelight by myself. I went to Roxy by myself, and it's kind of hard when you're by yourself and you don't really have any friends and stuff like that.
Mm.
And that's exactly how I met my friend. Was actually one of those times that I decided to go to a bar, and in the back of the magazine, and that's how I met him. And and he's from Brooklyn and stuff like that. And so once we connected, it was like he's from Brooklyn, his cousins are gay too, and stuff like that. So it was like I did everything in the city. You know what I mean? Like I was going to school, and then if I wanted to meet my boyfriend at the time, and that's how we did it. It was always in the city. So,
Mm. So let me ask you, what about services? Do you also to receive
oh,
any kind of services? Did you get them here, or did you go to the city? Where did you get your services?
I actually went to I always used to go to the Colin Lords.
Okay.
Like I think at the time, well, that was back in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
That was 1994. So everything, especially like health wise, because this STDs and stuff like that, you kind of like educate yourself, you try to use condoms and stuff like that, but just really you're kind of on your own, kind of, until you kind of find a place, which of course the common Lord has been around a long time, and that's how you did it. It's like you wanted to get checked every 6 months or something like that, for STDs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
So let me ask you, so your residency is in Bergen County, and you're getting services for STIs and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, like your routine kind of like every 6 month checkup type of thing.
You use them as sort of like your primary doctor kind of checkup kind of stuff.
I always worked, so I always had insurance, but the doctors in New Jersey was just not really, they don't really know anything. They can't relate. My doctors weren't gay.
Yeah.
And of course you always feel more comfortable around people who are like yourself,
Yeah.
and the common lords did that for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you though, how easy was this to get services in Common Lord in a different state when you have even if you have insurance, usually the insurance is for the location that you live in and the
Yeah.
doctor. So how did you navigate that?
I let me tell you, New Jersey doctors I mean, I don't know how they are now, but they were totally clueless when it comes to any gay matters or any like gay things that you might have done. And like I didn't feel comfortable going to my doctors and saying, okay, can I get like STD screening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like going to my doctor, because it was just like they were either like I don't know, they just seemed ill prepared.
Yeah.
Of course, the common laws, you go in and everybody, is like, okay, it's like a well-oiled machine and stuff like that. You come in, you get to that, and that's fine, and that's it, and you kind of tell them, it's like I'm from Bergen County, and they don't give you a hard time.
Yeah.
That's the whole part of being the whole when it comes to feeling that sense of community and
Yeah.
people who are like yourself. I've always lived in New Jersey, so it's like I always kind of felt I was in between two worlds.
Yeah.
This is Monday through Friday. I'm like straight, not straight Orlando, because I was gay. Once I came out, I was gay. Um, but it was just, I don't know, it
Oh,
was just more toned down. It was more like,
yeah.
rather than then come Friday, you know go hang out with my boyfriend and his cousins, and we would do the movies, and of course Saturday we would do the dancing and stuff like that. And I think I was lucky in the sense that I met my boyfriend, and plus his family is all gay. Literally his three cousins are all gay.
Mm-hmm.
Two males that are both gay, and the female is definitely, she is definitely a butch lesbian. But I love them to death. They're my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really I think I was very fortunate in that because my ex-boyfriend's cousin, he's been together with his partner for 37 years, you know. So it was, I mean, I guess that's why it was so easy for me to like come out because I had like this role models to kind of like to I just had to follow them along, you know.
Yeah. And what about your family? Are you close with your family? Is this
Oh, I'm very close to my family. My family loves me. My family accepts me unconditionally, no problems with. I'm talking about my cousins, my aunts on both sides of my family. Um, I don't have, you know, I think I was just more, you know, I think everybody thinks. I don't think I was ever afraid of them reacting bad.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think when you're like kind of, you know, I can be a little out there, but I usually try to be a little bit more reserved around, you know, the New Jersey area, you know.
So you feel you have the code switch. You're one
Yeah,
way here, and
but
then when
you
you go
know,
to this way and then
I
this
had
way.
jeans that I could wear to New Jersey, and then I had jeans that I could wear to New York.
Yeah.
They happened to be a size 28 back then, but and
I
then a
remember being
30
size
to New
28 at
York.
one point.
I know. Yes, it was. That's the way it was, you know. Plus, you know, my job, they all knew that I was gay, and they invited my boyfriend's been very lucky. My ex was very lucky in that my all my coworkers accepted me and accepted him, and I would get invited to, you know, we celebrated his birthday at my manager's house, you know, like within the year of me starting working there and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's good.
So sorry.
That's okay.
Um so so I was fortunate in that sense because I think like I said, it's like it's that it's that lack of having people who are kind of can walk confidently, you know, be, you know, I don't want to be walking with a sign somewhere that says that I'm gay, but I don't want to be walking with the sign that I'm straight. And I just want to be just perceived as myself. Like
Yeah.
me. And I know that once you like me, the gay part, that's that's people just they kind of they don't even think about it after a while.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean that's the hard part about New Jersey. You know, sometimes you could kind of feel a little kind of like it's like
you
you
have to
know.
be aware. You always
Yeah,
have to be
but
aware.
like I said, once I came out, and because I had such good role models in the sense that because my ex's family was all gay,
Hmm.
it was so easy, you know. It was just like whatever, you
Good.
know. I mean, I'm at work and I'm like laughing like you know, like a teenage girl, and that's fine.
Good. So let me ask you, let's say we open up an LGBT center. What would be your needs? What would need to be met for you for this to be useful?
I would, you know, the the fact that it should be easy, just like it was easy for me to walk into the Colin Lords, and even I mean I think even Morristown. I mean I after a while I met friends that were gay that lived in New Jersey and stuff like that, and they were younger, so they had more energy than I did. Um, but and there was a place in Morristown that was like they had like a gay reunion type of thing house, and they would like on Thursdays kind of meet type of like that environment. Um, so I guess it was just bringing the gay, being surrounded by your peers,
Yeah. So having space, a safe space where you don't
safe
have, you can
space,
just be
and
who
not
you are. And
feeling like you know you go in if you like not feeling like you when you travel, it's like you feel like you have to make time for it, and maybe you kind of have maybe like 4 hours of your time, and and maybe they're not well spent if you have to travel somewhere, as
Hmm.
opposed to having a place over here, which can be somewhere where you can just sit down and talk to somebody and not um, feel like you need to get all your gayness out, sort of, and then come back to, to your so-called life.
Yeah. And that's kind of interesting when you just mentioned like the time. And part of what we're trying to say to people is, it's an unfair expectation for part of your community to have to travel to New York, because traveling to New York means you have to pay for tolls and bridges. So is that like a gay tax for us to get healthcare? We have to also
Exactly.
include this other stuff, and
Yeah,
then
exactly. It
and then
seems like
also the
you
amount
have
of
so little
time.
time and so much it's like you're you have this time constraints, and you have to try to get as much of, New Jersey, mm, it's like, I don't know. It's just we're so much more like easygoing, and like, all my friends, my two friends that I was telling you in Morristown, I met them at a gay bar in New York, and they're from
Mm.
Morristown, and we were very, very close. I think at the time I was 26, and they were 19, so they were in college,
Yeah.
going to Ramapo, and we always had to go to New York. We would meet, Fridays at the end of the week. We would meet down at the village and stuff like that, and then it would start, and then Sunday kind of put an end to it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think not everybody, it's especially people who are recently coming out. I think that's a little bit harder to do,
Mhm.
than to just go into the city and just kind of like just stand around. And you stick out like a sore thumb because you dress like you're from New Jersey. You do
Absolutely.
everything. Like they make fun of you. Like,
Yeah.
you're a vision tunnel queen. So it's like, but in a good way, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't regret it. I think, like I said, I think it's like, but not everybody has the means to be traveling to New York anyway.
Absolutely. I
You
mean, the older population may not have the means, young kids may not have the means,
know?
people who are struggling with getting a job. You're very lucky
Yeah,
to have a job and family that support you. But we all know that could most likely our friends generally don't have those kind
don't
of
have that. Yeah,
privileges. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
No, I could. I am the luckiest person on earth when it comes to my coming out story.
mhm,
Because I do have such a great relationship with both my mother's side of the family and my father's side, and my mother and my sister and my nieces, and it's like, and they all love my ex, even though we haven't been together in 14 years. I can't
mhm.
even stand him. We still live together, but it's like they're always like, I'm like starting like, it's like, oh, John's getting on my nerve. They're like, oh, what do you do? Like, it's like, what does like it's not really, it's like they
The
like him more
shade.
than I do. And that's what, it's like, that's how it is. They invite, I mean, he's been invited to, he was always invited to all the weddings that at my job. He goes to my family reunions in Connecticut every
Mm.
year on my mother's side. And they adore him. He's just a little bit more, he's weird. Um, he's just, he's a little
He's an
bit
ex.
more,
Well, really, he's your
I'm
ex.
a little bit more out there when I'm with my friends and my
Mhm.
family, and he's more like a little bit more introverted around people,
Got it. Got it.
But
All right, so we're ending to the we're heading to the end of the interview. So I just want to ask you a few last questions. Do you feel comfortable with everything you spoke about here?
oh yeah, I
Okay.
think, I mean, I wish I had more we definitely need a place for
Absolutely.
for especially the young people coming up. You
Absolutely.
know, I think everybody that has reached my age, um, they're already comfortable being gay in New Jersey. You know, but the younger generation needs to be able to be comfortable being gay in New Jersey, and
Yeah.
I think a center would they will get that chance to meet friends and not always have to go into the city to hang out with your friends. Because,
Mhm.
New Jersey's not that bad. They're not gonna beat you up. I never had a problem. It's like I I could go to Olive Garden and laugh it up.
Unlimited breadsticks and
And then we told that we're too loud. And then we we're gay friends because we're too loud.
hmm
And have the people like literally saying shh, because we're too loud, because
yeah.
that's when we get together we have to express ourselves.
hmm So my next question is, you know that this is being recorded and I'm
Yeah.
going to use it towards my project and having a web page. Do you give consent to this?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. And that's it. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. I
Oh,
really appreciate
you're
this.
welcome.
I'm gonna end the recording if you want to say goodbye to everyone.
Bye. Nice